Welcome back to 845. Let's get started.
I've been through it all, through the highs and the lows.
On today's show, we'll be talking about why some people would rather be pitied than empowered. I was thinking about this. When you're empowered, then that means you got this. You can stand on your own and you can kind of take care of yourself, or you're even trying. If somebody's empowering you or you feel empowered, you feel like you can handle it, or you're going to try to handle it and get whatever you need to get done or become whoever you want to be. But when you're pitied, you can always remain the victim. And when you remain the victim, that means there's always somebody coming to the rescue. And being pitied, it weakens you. It weakens you to always gotta, stay in a weak energy. Carry your, always, because if you're gonna be pitied, you have to look pitiful. You have to look like there's something wrong. Somebody's always doing something to you. I always need to be rescued or saved. And that's, tell you the truth, that's easier. It works. I mean, it doesn't work for you as an individual, like personally, like spiritually. Like it hurts your spirit having to go into that victim role to be able to get anything done, because that means you have to get people to come help and rescue you. But when you feel empowered, it's almost like somebody taking the training wheels off of your bike when you're a little kid, when you're first learning. And now you're going to have to balance on your own. You don't have those training wheels anymore. Before you realize you can ride the bike on your own, you want to feel that security of somebody being there to catch you or to get you started. And that feels good because that's all you know. You don't know what's on the other side of once you take that first pedal, that push on the pedal, and you're balancing yourself, and you take the other push, and then that next thing you know, you're riding. That opens up a whole different world for you. But up until then, it's scary. So, yeah, you might want somebody to hold your hand because that next step seems scary until you take it and realize that, until you take that step and realize that, oh, I can do this. Now you're empowered. That just changes the whole game right there. It's an amazing feeling. Now you're like, what else can I do? But some people want to be pitied because of fear. They're like, well, what if I can't do this? What if I can't? And they're not even telling the people that they want to pity them that. They're telling themselves that. They've talked themselves out of trying to stand on their own 2 feet, to empower themselves. And they get so used to being stuck in fear. That means now you got to secure the people, your security, the people who are going to help you when you have that negative kind of outlook, that negative outlook. When you're pitying yourself. If you know you're not going to take that next step, you're not looking for people to empower you. You're not looking for that. But if you know you're going to just stay stagnant and never take any steps. One, because you just don't know what's on that other side. You have to secure people that will always come to your rescue. So you have to go into a victim mindset, victim mindset. And that's not a good thing to do because to sell that, you have to begin to believe it. Just like if you were going to be empowered, you have to believe that yourself too, to be empowered, to be able to try to do something that you've you've never done. You know, like ride your bike without training wheels, for example. Now think about when we call into work. Think about when we you call in sick for work. People would be like, "Oh, I don't feel good." Like, put the whole sick voice on because you're trying to convince the supervisor or the boss or whoever that you're not going to be able to make it. You're not going to make it today. So you have to really put on that sick voice, and then you even laying in the bed like you're sick when you just really don't want to go in. And after you hang up the phone from calling in work, anytime I did that, I would be like, oh, I'd still be acting like I'm sick. And I'm not even I'm not even talking to the boss anymore. I already hung up. I'm laying there like, oh, I'm still, because I've convinced myself that I'm sick for that moment so well to where when I got off the phone, I'm supposed to be like, oh, now I can get up and maybe live my life and go do what I want to do for the day or whatever the reason is. Or I might just feel like, not doing anything. But instead, I've convinced myself that I feel bad because I put all that energy into selling that act to work to a supervisor. That's how strong our beliefs can be. So now people would rather be pitied. They really don't want to be pitied, but they don't feel like they can go the other way. They don't think they can go the other way. But they have to convince themselves and always be like, no, I can't do this. I need help. I And then eventually you start looking like a pitiful person. And then the sad part about that is some people are like, yeah, that's exactly how I want to look because I'm always going to be the victim of my circumstances. And if you're always the victim and you're always being pitied, you're always going to just have a little bit. You're never going to have much to work with. And another reason, people would rather be pitied instead of empowered is of laziness. You don't have to do anything to be pitied. You don't have to do anything to be pitied. It doesn't take any work. Well, I guess it does take work because you constantly have to have some story why something's not working out, or somebody did this to you, or my life is like this because it's always got to be somebody else's fault or the situation's fault. It's never what you do because that's the opposite of being empowered. People, once when you're empowered, you have to take accountability for yourself. You're like, oh, this didn't work because I did this wrong. And it doesn't even mean that you're a bad person for being wrong. It just means you self corrected. You realize what you did wrong. And you're like, I'm not going to do that again. I won't do that. So let me see what happens when I change what I did and see if I can get a different result. That's how you empower yourself. It's just accountability. And when people see you trying to, when people see you empowering yourself and moving forward on your own, they don't mind helping you. They're looking at you like, oh, you doing that? All right, well, let me know if you need some, if I can do something for you. Or they don't mind helping you when they see that you're trying to do it yourself. And then on top of it, once you get over the hurdle, you self correct. Be like, oh, I did that wrong. What can I do better this next time? It gives you a boost of self esteem because that's what's lacking when you're pitied is self esteem. You had you refuse to build your self esteem. There's no way you can build your self esteem when you're asking somebody to feel sorry for you so you can get somebody to help you do something or coddle you or whatever it is. It actually hurts your self-esteem. You keep convincing yourself that you can't do something. You can't do something. It could be something that's so simple. You've convinced yourself that you just can't do it because it's become a habit. It's become a habit being like, as soon as something happens, all right, I need to call somebody. And every story that comes out of your mouth, it always has to be low, like low vibration, just down. Have you ever been around somebody who drains you after you finish hanging out with them or talking to them? You feel like you need a nap? That's somebody who would rather have pity over empowered. Because when you're empowered, chances are you don't have too much time to really be calling people. You're too busy being empowered and trying some new things in your life. And the pity people, you usually have to keep rotating different people in and out of your life, or they'll rotate themselves out of your life because nobody wants to hear that. If you always anytime you call somebody is because you need something, or like that's the only story, is because you need something or you want to tell them how somebody did something to you, people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. So they'll take a break. You'll catch them not answering your phone call. So that means they have to find somebody else to call. It's just like a manipulative game to keep somebody on the hook to keep helping you. So it doesn't pay to have pity for yourself. You just have to try. That's the only way you can break out of it. Just try. And usually what happened, the way they sometimes snap out of it is when there's nobody there to help them. And they have to just do something on their own. There's nobody to manipulate or get them to do whatever. You have to do whatever it is on your own. And then they'll do it. And they'll be like, oh, that wasn't that hard. It won't really boost their self esteem right then because they're still in the habit of being pitiful. They're still in the habit of that. But it did show them a little bit that they could do it. And then, long as they don't have anybody really to help them, then they kind of will accidentally fall into it. Fall into it. It's almost when you like hit rock bottom. If you hit rock bottom, I mean, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And that's kind of what happened with them. But I'm in this right here. Till next time.